Hello, everybody. I'm Sunita, and I am here to describe your box, your Happy Chocolate Experiences box, formerly of the Chocolate Garage, and also working on Three Queens Cacao. I wanted to just give you an overview. Some of you have been sending these to friends and people who aren't so familiar with Happy Chocolate, and so I thought I would do a little description. Basically, I have been curating chocolate for many years, and happy chocolate is what I call chocolate that is both delicious, makes you happy, but also is honoring everybody along the supply chain and hopefully making everyone along the supply chain happy or happier than the regular supply chain. Um, I am going to go through the 11 bars that are in the box, and my suggestion is always to start with the darkest and go sweeter or go more complicated in terms of flavors. So in this box, because it's a holiday selection, I've gotten a little festive and gotten many bars that have inclusions or flavors, inclusions in them. So you would want to start with the plainest and then get into the more spicy ones, as you know, that requires more of your palate, and it gets trickier to taste plain chocolate after you've had stuff with a lot of flavors in it. In the same way, you don't want to do this after a meal where you have tons of big flavors. You want to have a clean palate to be able to taste these bars. Generally speaking, there's steps in terms of the chocolate. You want to look at the bar, you look at the color. You can tell a lot about a bar just by looking at it. Notice if it's got a nice sheen to it. That's going to tell you what the temper is like, the crystal structure that it's in. Snap off a piece, give it a little smell. That's the next thing. You want to notice the aromas and eventually put it in your mouth. And ideally, if you want to get the most information out of the chocolate, let it melt. Let it melt and notice how it melts. Different bars will melt differently. You can notice even with these bars. You can notice the texture. You can notice that the flavor development as it evolves, as it melts in your mouth. New things will come up. And then at the end, you can notice what's left. What's the flavor that's left in your mouth? If you want a palate cleanse so that you can taste the next one really like with a clean mouth, I would suggest palate cleansing with room temperature, that's the coldest, or warmer. So I like to do hot water sometimes, or like hot water with a bit of cold, just so that it's not burning hot. And that really helps clean your mouth and get get your mouth prepared for the next bar as well. Just because if your mouth is warm, the chocolate's going to melt better. Chocolate should not be stored in the fridge. You want to keep this in your pantry, especially in the winter. It shouldn't be a problem at all to keep it just at ambient temperature. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the plain dark. So here we have the Lonohana bar, Kayaka. So this is a 67%. The cacao's from the North Shore. On the back side, you can see what the vision of the maker was, Seneca Klassen, who was trying to bring out the fruit, the citrus notes, the dark stone fruit notes. So this is a bar that's going to have some acidity to it, some fruit to it. And this is just a plain 6-7 bar. Oops, 67. I didn't mean to say 6-7. I have teenagers. Yes, so that's the first. The next, I might actually even go into this one just because, or maybe start with this one because this is also a plain dark chocolate. This is Pump Street. They are bakers and now chocolate makers in England. And usually I've included in the past their Jamaica and then their Jamaica with sourdough and salt, which is fun because it brings their two loves together. This time we're doing a 72%. This is beans, sugar, and cacao butter. So 3 ingredients. We could get into the fact that 2 ingredient bars, like the Kayaka, are also possible. So the minimum you need to make chocolate is cacao and sugar. And depending on how fatty your bar is or your beans are, you can make a bar that doesn't have any added cocoa butter like this one. Just double checking. Oh, I'm wrong. It's a 67. So actually there is cocoa butter. So these are both plain dark chocolates. This one is darker. So it's a 72 and it also has cocoa butter. The beans are from Piura, Peru. When you open the bar, it's quite a light color. This is what cacao is like. Different cacaos have different colors. So this one, it says on the back, made from white cacao, a rare white cacao, Piura Blanco. So again, that's why I said when you look at bars, you want to observe the color as a start because it tells you a lot. So like a Madagascar will tend to be more reddish brown notes, whereas a Ghana might be a deeper, darker, purpley brown, and these are pretty obvious. Like if you put them next to each other, you don't need to be very sophisticated in terms of telling the difference between colors to be able to see. So there's a lot of information in a bar. So those are the first two. That was a 67 and a 72. And actually, I did a little backwards. You probably want to start with the 72. Like I said, start with the darkest. And then the 67 Kayaka. And then what I encourage folks to do if you're doing this all at once is I would try the Hawaiian, the same one, the brown package. This is the same base. It's a Kayaka, but it's got nibs and salt. And I would try this one next. But you can even play with later the idea of tasting one after the other. So the plain one and then the plain one with nibs and salt. Because salt is a flavor enhancer, just like sugar is a flavor enhancer. And so this bar is going to taste different when it has nibs and salt on it because of the nibs, but also because of the salt. So you can play with that. I'll just show you the bar just because it's got such a beautiful mold. So those are the Hawaiian Islands, which are beautiful. A couple pieces missing because it had to be tasted. And then you have this bar that has nibs and salt on the back. So those are the first three, and they're the ones that I'd call plain, even though arguably there's nibs and salt on one of them. From there, I kind of would go to this one, the Marou, and it's a 65% single origin Vietnam, and it is Pho Spice. So Marou are wonderful makers in Ho Chi Minh City. They source from Vietnam, and Vietnam has been an up-and-coming cacao producer for probably 2 decades now. The government was very successful with coffee growing, and so they thought, hey, we could do the same thing with cacao. So they started to do the same thing with cacao, and we have been blessed to be able to, and so lucky to get to taste all this Vietnamese cacao. The first time I tasted a Vietnam bar, it was actually Marou Faiseur de Chocolat. That's their name. Faiseur means makers of chocolate. The first time I tasted a Marou, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this tastes like cinnamon raisin toast, and it was just flavors I'd never had in a bar before, and they were just so. I mean, raisin cinnamon toast is a delicious flavor. It's so comforting. So to have that in a chocolate bar is kind of mind blowing. So Marou, really, really wonderful cacao. We actually almost went to Vietnam on a trip there. So I used to lead trips, and I'm actually thinking about getting back into it. The last trip that I was supposed to lead was to Vietnam. We had done the research trip. We were ready to go. We had 15 people. We had Alan McClure of Patrick Chocolate, who was coming along too, because he is a culinary genius and just so interested in food and flavors. And we were going to go visit the part of Vietnam where they make the famous red boat fish sauce. Anyway, unfortunately, COVID happened, and so that did not happen. Had to cancel it, and it was actually quite complicated to cancel it because everything shut down, as you all remember. So this one, Pho Spice, is absolutely delicious. I mean, it is so perfect for Christmas as well because it has all these warm, delicious spices, green cardamom and cloves and cinnamon, and it's just wonderful. You can see all the ingredients on the back. Anyone who's interested in coming to Vietnam, this is one of the things I was doing for many years after closing the Chocolate Garage, is leading trips. We went to Nicaragua, we went to Cuba, we went to India, we went to Hawaii, we went to Switzerland, and we were about to go to Vietnam, and it was very sad not to get to go. So I'm looking to lead another trip. Just contact me if you're interested. Looking at September, potentially. I wanted to do it in April, but that's me. I'm very spontaneous and wanting to do things quickly and very short notice, but I think that's pretty hard for people to go away for 10 days, like in a few months. So we'll probably move it to September. Wonderful bar. I put in 3 other Marou bars because I wanted to bring in more festive flavors. So we have the ginger and lime, which is lovely. I keep going back to this one because it's so unusual. It's a 69%, and it shows you where the beans are from, Baria. And then we have the one in the middle, which is the mint and orange. A friend of mine just tasted this the other day, and she said to me, oh, I had the box and I wanted to get rid of the mint one because I hate mint and chocolate. So I thought I better eat this one first. And she ate it and she became a convert. She just loved it. She gobbled it up, and now she likes mint and chocolate. And then the last one, it's very hard to do this stuff backwards. I just can't figure it out, is the Mekong Kumquat. This bar is my favorite of the 3. It is so interesting because I have this memory of various types of citrus, and when you you open the peel, and there's just that aroma. I have a very sensitive nose, and so I just love the smell of freshly peeling citrus, like satsuma and all the different, I don't know all the names of all the different ones. Kumquat, for example, yuzu. Sorry. This one is just, I can't stop eating it. And you know how I talked about letting it melt and noticing how the flavors evolve. So to me, this one, the end taste is just like fresh that smell of like opening up a citrus, and that just delightful, the oils and whatever from that peel that are just sprayed into the air. That's what it feels like in my mouth at the end of this bar. So these are a lot of fun. You got to check them out. And then we have two more really beautiful flavored bars. So Mirzam is a maker out of Dubai. Kathy is the creative genius behind the delicious bars coming out of Mirzam. I don't know if you all remember having the camel milk honeycomb, Emirati honeycomb. So it's honeycomb made with Emirati honey and then camel milk. I mean, just so creative, unbelievably delicious. Like one of the bars that I just cannot stop eating. There's probably 10 bars. Maybe I'm saying 10 just because there's so many actually, but at least 5 where it's just like they're just unbelievable and you can't stop eating them. And the honeycomb one is one. Anyways, back to these. I just love how Kathy takes local flavors and local traditions and makes these beautiful, beautiful bars. If you fly through Dubai on your way somewhere, definitely go visit their factory and go visit their cafes. It's a lot of fun. They also have a bakery, so they're really like branching out and doing really interesting things. So the 2 bars, this is becoming a long video. I was trying to be short, but it's hard. I'm not so short. This one is the orange and cinnamon, which is a beautiful wrapper as well. Orange is so classic in chocolate, and the orange and cinnamon is a delightful bar. It's a dark chocolate, no milk. And then we have this one, the Kabiza. Oh my goodness, this bar is unbelievable. It has dried dates in it. It has cardamom. It has cinnamon. It has some biscuits made of semolina that are like crumbled. And so there's a crunch from the biscuits. There's the chewiness from the dates. And then there's all these wonderful aromas from the spices. And then, of course, the vehicle for all of it is chocolate. I mean, I just actually gave one of these bars to Choco del Mar, who's the next maker that we're going to talk about. And I just realized that I don't have the bars in front of me. And I gave him one of these because he had to deliver. I had messed up and gotten the wrong number. Anyways, he brought me the bars and I left him one of these for him to taste. And he said he ate half of it on the way home because it was so delicious. It is such a delicious bar. You must check it out. I can't believe I'm going to have to do this, but I cannot re-record this video. So I'm going to run and get the 2 Choco del Mar. Please pause and just try to like think about what I just said. Okay. So the last 2, I was recording this earlier and I had the bars and then I liked them so much that I brought them with me to my appointment and forgot to put them back. So we have 2 Choco del Mars. Choco del Mar is Kumar, and he was in the larger box that we put out a month or 2 ago. He is a local maker, really promising. I love the creativity. I love the passion and the sincerity with which he makes chocolate. So I have 2 of his bars in the box. There are going to be some other surprises, but the main bar is the Cleo's Kick. So go on the website if you're interested and you can read all about Cleo the otter. She's the one who sources the cacao. She flies all over the world and gets the cacao and brings it back to Kumar. Kumar at some point will go and get it too, but at this point he has to rely on Cleo because it's actually cheaper for Cleo to go get the beans. Anyways, go learn all about Cleo, sign up for the newsletter. This one is a partnership with Cat and Cloud out of Santa Cruz. For those of you who are coffee fans, you've probably been down to Santa Cruz and gone to Cat and Cloud. Delicious coffee. This one is a 63%, if I'm remembering correctly. Yes. And it has cream in it instead of milk. And it's delicious. It's got this like nice coffee forwardness. It's got the beautiful chocolate. It's not too sweet, but it still has that creaminess from the cream. So a really fun bar. And then this one is so playful as well. It's called Andean Crunch. It is a modern kick or modern version of the traditional combination of the yin and the yang of the cacao and the corn, which is a very traditional Mesoamerican combination in drinks. Typically, that was how it was done. My first corn chocolate combination that I had was by Soma. They did these delicious corn nuts that were so good. They were chocolate covered corn nuts. Fruition also did a round of that, did their own version of that afterwards. And this one is a very wonderful, delicious, playful, Moorish kind of bar because it's got that crunch of the corn and then it has this really nice 70% dark chocolate. So a really neat combination, which is a callback to the traditional way that cacao and corn have just been married in this, honestly sacred way in Mesoamerica in terms of how cacao and corn were a food, were a staple, really. They were nutritious and delicious. So I hope you enjoy your box. There are a few of you who are going to get a Clio's cake and a chocolat au pain. So it's like pain au chocolat reversed. So it's mostly chocolate with a little bit of the pain in it, pain being like the croissant bread, laminated dough. So there's a little bit of variety and surprises in store with the Choco del Mar. But that's your box. And I look forward to having them arrive for you. And I hope you love them. And I hope that what we were not able to achieve in terms of smooth video with edits and beautiful scenery and background that isn't my living room was made up for with the content and the substance and the joyful, authentic expression of my passion for these chocolates. I hope you love them. Happy holidays, and we'll see you in the new year. I am already searching for new bars, and we'll be putting out some offerings in January, hopefully for Valentine's, if my travel permits, and then again another one in the spring. So stay tuned. Bye.